offers us some lesson or insight into life and human nature. Debbie is doing her third project in storytelling. The object is to tell a story that offers a moral or a lesson. It is a 4 to 6 minute presentation. Look for the following: a simple plot, simple characters, a topic that should be something familiar. The story should have an unexpected and somewhat humorous conclusion. Now here's Debbie, and her story is entitled, What Goes Around Comes Around.
Thank you very much. Brian Anderson had worked all day, and he was very, very tired. He got in his car to drive home, and it was dark out, so he had to watch very carefully to make sure he drove safely. As he was driving, he saw a car parked by the side of the road, and a little old lady was standing by the car. Now it was drizzling out, and she was wet, and he decided to stop. He approached the woman and said to her, "Can I help you?" Well, she looked at him fearfully. She wasn't sure if he was a good person or a bad person. But he said, "I see that you have a flat tire and it's raining outside. Why don't you go sit in your car and I will change it for you?" So the old lady decided that he was probably a good person, and she decided to do that. She sat in the car, he changed the tire. While changing the tire, of course, he had to be on the ground. His hands got dirty, his clothes got wetter. But he changed the tire gladly for this little old lady. He was done, and he went up to her and said, "Okay, you can go on your way." And she said, "Well, thank you very, very much." She said, "I'm on my way home to St. Louis, and I'm tired, and I really appreciate what you did. How much do I owe you?" Well, Brian Anderson said, "Well, you don't owe me anything." She goes, "Oh, come on. Let me pay you." And Brian Anderson said, "Okay, here's what I want you to do. The next time you see somebody who needs help, please help them, and when you do, think of me." So the little old lady said, "Okay, fabulous, thank you very much," and she drove off, and Brian Anderson drove home. He got home, took a shower, a hot shower, and ate his dinner, and finally crawled into bed because he was very, very tired. The little old lady, meanwhile, was driving, and she was tired, so she saw this little cafe. She decided to stop at the cafe, have a cup of coffee, maybe a piece of pie, before she continued on her way. So she walked into the cafe, and she sat down, and she watched the waitresses helping other customers until they came to her. She saw that they were very busy, and the waitresses were very tired. Finally, this waitress came over to her and said, "Hello, I've noticed that you're really wet. Here's a towel for you to dry your hair. Please use it, and I'll take your order." So the little old lady was very, very pleased, and she noticed that this waitress was 8 months pregnant. But in spite of being on her feet and looking tired, she had a sweet smile. She was kind. She talked to all of her customers personally, so that they didn't get the idea that they were just a person sitting there. They got the idea that she really cared about them. So the little old lady had a cup of coffee, and she had some pie, and then the waitress came over and gave her her check. Well, the lady paid the check with a $100 bill. So the waitress hurried over to get the change, and when she came back to the table to give the lady her change, the lady was gone. And there was a napkin that said, "You don't owe me any change. Just help someone, and when you do, think about me." So the waitress thought, "Oh my gosh, this is a wonderful tip. I'm so grateful." And then she started clearing the table. And underneath the plate, she found 4 more $100 bills. And she thought, "Oh my goodness, bless this lady. I so need this money. My husband and I need this money with the baby coming. I won't be working for a while. I am so, so excited about that." For the rest of the evening, this waitress had a wonderful smile on her face. She went from table to table helping everybody like she normally did, but she didn't feel quite as tired. because she knew that she had some money to help with the baby. Finally, the shift was over, and the waitress cleaned up. The waitresses do, they have to clean all the tables, they have to restock them with the pepper and the salt and so on and so forth. And then she decided to drive home. So she drove home, and as she drove home, she realized how tired she was. But she was ecstatic. She couldn't wait to tell her husband the news that she had almost $500 to help with the costs of the baby. She got home, she took her hot shower, she crawled into bed next to her husband. She gave him a big hug, although he was still sleeping. She gave him a big kiss, and as she lay down to go to sleep, she whispered, "We don't have to worry anymore, Brian Anderson. Someone is taking care of us." Thank you very much. Run, 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 run.
Very cute.
Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. That was awesome.
Had him captivated.
I'd like to introduce the next evaluator.
Should we take a minute?
Please take a minute. So I can go find my paper. No, take a minute and review Debbie, evaluate, and then I want to introduce the next evaluator.
Oh, I'm sorry, the next is the next scooter.
I'd like to introduce Scooter, who is going to introduce our speaker.